32 states in the U.S. with towns named Eden. There are towns named Eden in Antarctica, Ontario, Ireland, South Africa, Iraq, Lebanon, New Zealand, and Australia. Do you have a town named Eden where you live? Let us know if you do in the comments below. But those Edens are not the Eden, are they? Some people, scientists and historians included, think that the Eden described in the Bible is a myth. Archaeologist William F. Albright was one of those. He said Eden was invented by writers merging Egyptian and Sumerian ideas. This means he thought that the idea of the Eden in Genesis came after the Egyptian and the Sumerian writers. Now, a garden like paradise is described in ancient Sumerian texts, just like the flood, just like they wrote about the flood or heaven and hell. And none of those, heaven, hell, and the flood, are myths, and biblical Eden is not a myth either. The location described in Genesis for Eden is very detailed. It's precise. More information is given for Eden than most locations in the Bible. Eden was east of where God had created Adam. And the Bible says that God put him in the garden that he planted for him. When Adam was forced to leave Eden, an angel had to guard it so that no one could enter it. When Cain was forced to leave his home, the place where he went is described to the east of Eden. And so we see in these references that Eden had to have a geographical location. It had to be a real place. Also, the events that happened in Eden were detailed. Fig trees grew there, along with the tree of life. And the tree of life is described as growing in heaven in Revelation 22. Isaiah mentioned Eden. Isaiah 51:3 says, "For the Lord shall comfort Zion, and he will comfort all her waste places. And he will make her wilderness like Eden, and her desert like the garden of the Lord." And the words garden of the Lord, that term is used to refer to Eden in various places in the Bible. The prophet Ezekiel said that Lucifer was in the Garden of Eden. He wrote, "Thou hast been in Eden, the garden of God." And Revelation 20 also puts Satan in the garden. It says, "And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil, and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. That old serpent, where was the serpent? The serpent was in the Garden of Eden. In Ezekiel 31, Ezekiel compared kings to the trees of Eden. And he said that the trees of Eden were brought down to the depths. And he spoke of Eden in 2 other chapters as well. The prophets Joel and Amos both spoke of Eden. And Paul referred to Eden several times when speaking of Adam and Eve. Jesus said, "He who has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says to the churches. To the one who conquers, I will grant to eat the tree of life, which is in the paradise of God." And there we have another term, the paradise of God. And Jesus is telling us that there's another Eden. It's heaven. And sometimes I wonder about Eden. It's a place that is a copy of heaven. And we can talk about that in an upcoming video, because there are other places in the Bible that refer to copies, like the temple, the tabernacle was a copy of the one in heaven. And so we can talk about that later in a different video. But for today, it is important that you understand that Jesus confirmed Moses' description of Eden in Genesis. So yes, to answer the question, was Eden a real place? Yes, it was. And in the next video, we'll talk about where that place might have been. So if you want to join in on that one, make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss it. And if you'd like to know more about Sumer and its connection to Eden, we've written about it in Sumer in the Bible, and I'll put a link to that book in the description box below. As always, thank you for listening. and I'll see you in the next video. Have a blessed day.